Hello guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video that has been very fun. I didn't know what I wanted to create when I started filming this video, but I kind of just let myself be guided by what I was feeling, and I really like this look that came out from this. It kind of just took me back to when I was younger and I was kind of just first starting to experiment with makeup. I was so into matte makeup for some reason. The foundation was matte, the eyeshadow was matte, the blush was matte, everything was matte, and I didn't use barely any shimmer either on my eyeshadow or on my face. Today I kind of did something similar. Of course, I did it differently because when I was younger I didn't know a lot of techniques that I know now. I came out with this look. I wear this look every day. It's very work appropriate, school appropriate. You know, it's nice and glam, but still very put together, and you look very polished. And since it's matte, we're not kind of showy, we're not flashy, we're not shimmery, or glowy, or glittering, but it's still very nice to wear on special occasions. If you like this look, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for future videos and to give me a thumbs up. If you like this look and want to see how I created it, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I am back with my brows. So the next step is to prime the skin, and this next thing is such a great discovery. I discovered this very recently. It is something that I got as a tester because I saw it on Sephora's website. I saw a lot of people were talking about it. I didn't know if it was going to be worth the hype or not, so whenever I am indecisive about a particular product, I go to Sephora, I ask for a sample, they give it to you, and you can try it out, see if it works for your skin, see if it doesn't, see how you're liking it, if you like the finish, if you like the texture. So all of those things are very helpful to determine if you actually want to buy the full-size product or not. But I actually got the sample, tried it, loved it. I love it so much, and I did not think I was gonna like it as much as I do because I usually tend to gravitate more towards pore filling primers and mattifying primers because I do have oily to combination skin. But this primer is kind of hydrating, but at the same time it just kind of smooths your skin, gives you a nice glow. And I'm talking about the new Ola Henriksen Banana Primer. It's in this little jar right here, in a sample jar, but it's so good. Oh my god, I am definitely gonna buy this product because I think it's really worth the hype, and it made my skin look amazing. So I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna try it on so you guys can hopefully see, and it comes off through camera, how gorgeous the finish of this primer is. So I'm gonna take a dollop amount. I'm gonna apply it like this. Don't you just hate when you go to Sephora and you ask for a sample of a foundation or a primer or a skincare, and they give you like a little drop? That is the worst thing. Whenever that happens to me, I'm like, how am I supposed to see if I like it or I don't like it if you're giving me literally a milli drop of product? So I'll take that, and you immediately see kind of like a glowy. Do you see that? And it feels amazing on the skin. It feels so like nice and moisturizing and cooling. I think this will be such a great product for the summertime. You could even wear this without makeup if you just wanted to give your skin a little bit more of a glow, moisturize it, and make it look a little bit better. I'm so angry because I recently had some visitors here. I was breaking out, and as the person that I am, I went to pop them and get them off my skin, and my skin is so sensible to picking. Whenever I pick at any blemish, I immediately get a scar, and after the scar I get a hyperpigmentation spot, which is so infuriating because those take the longest to heal and to kind of go away, but hopefully it will go away soon with my skincare treatments and everything that I try to make my skin more even, because that's one of my biggest issues, uneven skin tone. It's usually a very prominent issue amongst Latinas and women of color because we produce more melanin, and that's why whenever we pick at something and our like skin just kind of reacts, sending signals to the outermost layer of your skin to kind of protect it, and then that's when the increase of melanin comes in and you are left with a lovely fringe like this one. So the next step is moving on to foundation. Now the next foundation is a little bit dark for me right now because I bought this in the summer. You know, I think we can make it work. It's not super dark. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. This one is in shade 228, soft tan, I believe. Yeah, soft tan. I love this foundation. As I've said before, it's inexpensive and it covers well. It has a lovely finish and it's amazing. This is the matte and poreless, in case you didn't know the name. A few dots. Forehead, the cheeks. And now I'm just going to be using a beauty blender to blend my foundation. You know, that primer just blows my mind. The foundation just glides on. Remember to bring it down to your neck so that you don't have any line from your jaw and your neck, especially if your foundation isn't a perfect match like mine today. So that gave me a pretty decent amount of coverage, but I would just want a little bit more coverage today, so I'm going to be adding a little bit more of that foundation. And this foundation is great because it doesn't get cakey if you apply more on top. If you layer it, you don't really get that cakey feeling. So now that we have our foundation on, I'm going to go in with concealing. I'm going to spot conceal any parts of my face that need more coverage. So if I have discoloration or an active pimple, I don't have any active pimples to date except for I think this one, which is not really active, it's just kind of underneath there, which is so annoying. But I'm going to be taking the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and this is in the shade medium. I love this concealer for spot coverage because it really just stays on there. Is it there? Any places where I have discoloration. It's in here. Okay, that's it. I try not to carry it away with it because sometimes I just kind of dot my whole face and it's like, why did you use the foundation then? And I'm just going to take my finger to blend this out. I feel like using your finger for spot concealing works a lot better than even using a sponge because your finger really warms the product up and gives you the most amount of coverage, in my opinion. I find that whenever I use my finger, the product just stays on the spot that I placed it and it doesn't kind of spread around too much. So pat, pat, pat. And for the under eyes today, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, which is the one I've been using lately a lot. And it's a pretty good concealer. I really do like it. And this is in the shade Golden Beige. A little bit on my forehead if you want to highlight that area, and on my chin. And one little trick that I've been doing lately, because for some reason I feel like my under eyes have been getting a little bit drier than usual and I don't want my concealer to crease at all, so I'm going to take the beauty blender, and it's already wet, but I'm going to go and spritz it with some Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist. So this is like a hydrating mist and it just kind of gives your sponge a little bit more hydration, and also this has hyaluronic acid, so adding this to your sponge when you're blending your concealer can really just make your concealer look more hydrated, and I mean not your concealer, make your under eyes look more hydrating without taking away from your coverage. So I'm just going to take this sponge. So of course we gotta set that concealer. So today I'm going to be baking with Makeup Revolution. This is the Luxury Baking Powder. This is in the shade Banana. I usually use my Laura Mercier translucent powder, but I wanted to switch it up a little bit because I feel like I always use that one. So this is also pretty good. It's a little bit more drying, which is what I don't like, but since we applied that hyaluronic acid mist, it should be okay. So this is baking. We're not only setting our eyes, so that's why I have an obscene amount of powder on my face. Alright, so now that we're all nice and baked, I'm just going to let that sit there for a few minutes while we do our eye makeup. And for our eyes, I'm going to be using a palette that is an oldie but a goodie. I love this palette a lot. This is one of the first palettes that I bought and I was really super excited about because it contained all matte shades. It had all matte shades in there, and at the time I was a sucker for matte shades. I only wanted to use matte shades, and this is it. You guys probably, a lot of you probably have this palette because it is kind of like a cult favorite. This is a Tarte palette, and they have since launched 2 other palettes. I have both of them, so I have all 3, but this one is very special to me because it has all matte shades and because it's the first one that I bought. And it looks like this. Fortunately, one of the shadows kind of broke off, but it was my fault because I kind of just, you know, sometimes I throw my palettes around and that tends to happen, which I need to stop doing that. And I actually haven't used this palette in a while, but I'm super excited to use it again and kind of get that feeling of whenever I use this palette before. Like I said, I don't really have a plan as to where I want this look to kind of head and what direction I want it to go, but I'm just gonna kind of see what I'm feeling. What I'm gonna do first is gonna take this shade right here, this kind of like a creamy shade. I don't know if you can see it, this one. And I'm gonna pack this one onto my eyelid, just kind of to set the makeup that was there and to provide a base for all the other shadows. And I'm using a eye shading brush by Sigma. This is the E35. I'm gonna be taking this shade right here, which is a nice kind of neutral tone brown, and it's called Wanderer. And I'm taking that on a Morphe M535 brush. Next, I'm going to take the same brush and take this color right here, and it's kind of like a warmer brownie color. It's called Force of Nature. I'm also going to be applying this to the crease, kind of focusing more on the inner part, but blending it all together. Taking a smaller, more tapered brush, this is the MAC 217 brush. I'm going to be taking this color right here called Dreamer, which is a deeper brown. It's still pretty warm, but it's more deep. And I'm going to be applying that to kind of like the outer part of my crease. So now I'm going to take a Morphe M408 brush, and this is kind of like a shading brush. I like this brush because it's nice and kind of small and densely packed. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take the color Multitasker, which is this deep brown right here. I'm going to take this shade and apply it also to my crease. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and just kind of line a little bit like my crease. So around here, you see this area? And I'm just going to kind of go like that. Try to not get carried away, because then you can make the look too dark. So I apply it and I gently blend it with the fluffy brush so that it's not too harsh. So once we've done that, I'm going to go back to my lid, and I'm going to be taking this shading brush that we used in the beginning, and I'm going to be taking the lightest shade, which is called Super Mom. And I'm going to be applying it to my lid, kind of packing it on because I really wanted to show up. So I'm packing it on. Once we have packed it on, I'm going to go back in with the fluffy brush and go back in with my two crease colors, this one right here and this one right here, Wanderer and Force of Nature. Just kind of blend everything together. And I want to do this very softly so that we don't remove the lid color that we just applied. Alright, so now I'm going to go bottom lash line, and I'm going to be using the shade Dreamer right here. I'm going to be taking this shade and I'm going to apply it with the Morphe M408 brush, which we used before, and I'm just going to kind of lightly go in. Then we're going to take the shade Force of Nature, and we're going to use that one also on our lower lash line to kind of buff out that dark color a little bit more. I'm going to take my beauty blender with the remaining powder. I'm going to kind of clean up this area. So I'm just going to go like this to kind of give me more of a lift. Since this shadow is more matte, it's more simple, I don't want it to kind of just take away from the lifting of the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and line my eyes with this Tom Ford eyeliner. This is one of my all-time favorite eyeliners. It's expensive, but it's super amazing. It's absolutely one of the best liquid eyeliners I have tried. It lasts you for ages. I literally bought one and it lasted me for 5 months, over 5 months, and it was great. I love it. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to do a wing. This is what happens when you say you're going to do a small wing, and this actually, you don't decide what size your wings are going to be. Your eyeliner does. Alright, so I decided to apply some lashes to the outer corners of my eyes. They look kind of crazy right now, but then we're going to blend it in with a mascara. I'm going to go ahead and take this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Blush Finish Setting Powder, and I'm going to set the areas of my face that I didn't bake in. And I'm going to set, like, for instance, this area I didn't bake. I'm just going to kind of set that because We're going to be applying our bronzer, and I don't want it to apply weird and patchy if we don't set it. For our bronzer today, I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Slate Bronzer, and I'm going to take it on a small contour brush by Sigma, and a little bit goes a long way, so you really don't need that much. I'm just going to give our skin some color and definition, and the jawline as well. I'm going to go and make it really small like this, and I'm going to use this to contour my nose. And underneath. So also, I'm going to take the remaining of the powder here. I'm going to clean up this area, so I'm going to go like that. So now I'm going to be taking a eyelash curler, and I'm going to be applying some mascara just to kind of blend these outer corner lashes with the ones, with my real ones. So now I'm going to go into blush. So I want to keep going with the matte theme, and I'm not going to be using any shimmer in my blush. I'm going to be using this MAC blush. This is in the shade Gingerly, and it's just completely matte, as you can see. And I'm going to be taking this one, and I'm going to be applying it with a Morphe M105 brush, and taking a little bit because this blush is kind of pigmented. So I'm just going to take that and apply it to the apples. Bit of my nose. And finally now, we are going to go ahead and dust off all of the excess powder from the baking. I'm just going to go ahead, dust it all off. So once we have kind of dusted it all off, we can see what we're missing, if we're missing anything. I think I'm not missing anything. I think we're pretty good. I do think that lastly, to finish off the face, this is a matte look, but I don't want to look super flat, so I am going to be applying highlighter just on very specific places, not all over, because I don't want to look glowy or anything like that. So I'm going to take a brush like this one, very precise. I'm going to take this highlighter. This is the Dose of Colors highlighter by DesixKaty, which is amazing, and this is in the shade Fuego. And I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to be applying this like right in the middle, in the center of my nose. And then a little dot here. My Cupid's bow. Maybe a little bit on my inner corners. Alright, and then I'll take a fan brush and just apply it on the tops of my cheekbones. Alright, now so we're going to move on to the lips. I'm going to line my lips with the Laura Mercier lip liner in the shade Chestnut, which is the one I always use. And for lipstick, I'm going to be taking MAC Velvet Teddy. It looks like this, and it's such a beautiful shade. I'm going to be applying this all over my lips. Alright you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look. We are done. It looks like this, very matte, very put together, and very neutral as well. So I hope you really liked it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next video.